Yo, what's good with y'all, man? Welcome back to another video. And in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down like a smooth R&B type of sample. But as you guys will hear in the preview, the beginning part is kind of like this like texture, taped kind of vibe with like some pianos going on. And then it kind of switches up into this like really smooth like R&B, guitar, you know, kind of vibe. And yeah, this is what the final sample sounds like. As you can tell, definitely like a super smooth type of vibe. I feel like SZA could go crazy on this, like kind of rap, kind of do her singing on this. And yeah, if you guys haven't already, definitely subscribe to the channel and go check out my Instagram. I know I say this a lot, but huge things coming, lots of good things coming. Also, let me know if you guys want to see like some producer vlog. I definitely want to do some like producer kind of vlogs, day in the life kind of stuff with my own twist on it. And if you guys want to see those, let me know in the comments down below, like kind of what do you want to see in those types of videos, or you can DM me on Instagram and I'll directly get back to you. And this video is sponsored by my boys over at Producer Crate. Touch on more on that later, but let's hop right into the sample breakdown. So yeah, we started this one at 79 BPM, and I actually started with the second like smoother type of section first, and then I did like the, you know, taped kind of like section kind of before, actually after. But I'm gonna break down that tape section first because it is the start of the sample. So I actually started with this Analog Lab 5 bank here, and I went to the Spirit Analog Lab bank, and I grabbed this Japan 1986 created piano, and it just sounds like this. And actually what started the sample for me is I went into the melodic fragments and I went into this MIDI section here, and I grabbed one of these MIDIs and then I kind of deleted every kind of like passing note and stuff. I just left the chords and then I built on those chords. I don't know exactly what I did differently, but I kind of switched up the whole progression, but I used that MIDI as kind of like a starter template. And basically what this is right here is a G sharp major 7th chord. And then for the next chord here is a G minor 7th. And then the final chord is this D sharp major. And really with these R&B types of samples, you want to really mess with major 7ths, minor 7ths, and going in between both of those types of chords. And basically this last chord here, as you can see, doesn't really fit in the scale, but it really doesn't matter. It's just a D sharp diminished chord. Pretty easy way to make these is just like, you know, I have this D sharp major chord here, and all you gotta do is pitch these notes down by 1 semitone each. And also you can go into this diminish stamp tool here. As you can see, it's this D sharp diminished chord. And then I just stacked this C on top. I just thought it sounded a little bit better, a little bit more full. But yeah, these diminished chords really help to resolve the end of the pattern and go back to the beginning. And basically, the bass notes is just following the roots. And I just added in some of these like passing notes and stuff here, passing chords really. This is just really simple. I just copied this over an octave, strummed it out. And this is just a little stab here just to kind of help with the movement and transition to the next chord. And I also love to use silence on my samples. You guys know this. Yeah, so just adding some silence in here makes it sound a little bit more bouncy. And for the effects, it's just an EQ, really doing nothing. I got this Volv compressor, very lightly compressing, but it kind of brings those vintage tones out. And then I have the first instance of reels on here, and it's just, you know, pretty much on the default preset. I went back into Analog Lab and I grabbed the same exact piano preset, and I just added these little like top notes. And as you can tell, I mean, it's the same piano, but I just process it a little bit differently. And that's what you guys can do in your samples as well. Like, you can take the same kind of sounds, but just process them differently, be creative with the effect. And pretty much this chain here is just the EQs doing literally nothing. Volv compressor, also lightly compressing, but kind of switched the compression a little bit. Still have the reels on here, but I'm changing some of these settings. Like I added more wow and flutter to it. and a little bit less harshness. And then really what's making this is this delay tape 201 by Arturia, and I had this careful with the axe preset, and I'm just changing the mix down to about 40%, and it just really adds this like atmospheric kind of texture in there. And with the wow turned up, it's kind of a little bit more like warbly kind of sounding. And then really to drive that movement, I grabbed this Moto Bass 2, and it's just on the 60s P bass preset, and I just added these bass notes in, pretty much following the roots, but it really drives the movement in here. I don't really know how to explain how to really make these, but the more you practice with it, I'm really not even great at making like some like cool bass lines like Oscar Zulu does and stuff like that. But really just playing around with notes in the scale, obviously, and adding in like a little bit of silence in here. You know, got some silence, helps establish that bounce. Also adding lots of passing notes here like this, even like these here, this one, just kind of play around with it, add silence, and that's gonna be like a huge driving factor in creating that bounce. Like this would not sound nearly as good if I just have all these notes like this. It doesn't really sound bouncy, it doesn't really have that bounce. And for the effects, I'm just pitching it down an octave because some of these notes weren't playing when I was going low, like this D wasn't playing. So I just pitch it up an octave and then down an octave with Sound Shifter. And Sound Shifter also adds like a lot of really cool like artifacts in there. And I really love that plugin. And then pretty much the last part is this bell. And I believe we're going into the one-shot kit. I believe we're going into a one-shot kit with the melodic fragments, and we're grabbing bell a Claire here. And it's playing this super simple pattern. But the sound itself is really fire. But I really wanted to add some texture with this. So before I even play the sound out, it's really just running through a Cymatics Illusions, and it's on this Flourish preset. I just played this very simple pattern utilizing half steps, up octaves and stuff like that. But then I rendered it out, and this is what this sounds like with the Illusions on. It just sounds really spacey. It's very tucked back into the mix, but it's just like little ear candies kind of flying around. And that's pretty much it for the first section. Really, the only thing left is this Tascam noise, which I grabbed out of my Roots multi-kit. And then I added this drum fill to kind of transition into that next section. And it's just in this drum kit folder here. It is the After Hours drums, and I grabbed the Syrah preset. And then pretty much the last thing actually now is I grabbed a Reels, and I played around with the settings a little bit. This is what you can copy these down if you like them. And I just have this automated, so this is playing, or the Reels is activated in this first section, so it sounds a little bit more taped. And yeah, this is what the first section sounds like. And as you guys can hear, that transition super fire. But yeah, I really like this section because you can kind of, if someone has this sample, they can, you know, really make a intro beat section, A section out of this intro. So I like introducing kind of different sections to my samples, so it just, you know, keeps the listeners on its toes and adds like some more elements in there, adds some more sections. And you can play around with these chords because these chords work with the original chords in the second section, so you can even add this piano into the second section. So yeah, all that kind of stuff. I like adding these sections in just to diversify the sample a little bit. Yeah, I'm kind of yapping now, but let's get into the second section now. First off, like I said before, it is the same exact chords as the piano, and I did all types of like effects and chops and stuff in here because I really wanted to get this like certain vibe. So pretty much the first thing I added was this Analog Lab, and there's no effects on it. And it's the Alice's Abyss preset. And this is also coming from the Spirit Analog Lab Bank by Cadet. And like I said, it's the Alice's Abyss preset. And this one's super fire. This bank is absolutely goated for R&B. Sounds like this. I really like the harshness to the preset, but I also kind of like the mellow kind of tones to it too. And pretty much what I did was I rendered that out and I chopped it up and reversed it right here. And basically chopping it up makes sure that it stays in the same chord progression, because when you do reverse something, it obviously reverses the whole chord progression. And then I just added in these like fades here, just have it swell up, kind of very simple, and chopped it out to add some silence in as well. But really what makes the magic is not only the preset, but also this effects chain here. And I'm just gonna roll through this real quick. You got a reels, I got this fruity chorus, this good hurt to lossy, an EQ, effect rack on the liquid vibe, and this portal, and it's on this Dana Khalid preset, the balloons portal preset. And then I rendered that out again, and I got this final kind of like textural, like swelling kind of melody. It sounds like this. As you can tell, I kind of chopped up this little like decay kind of noise, pitched it up an octave just to kind of switch it up a little bit. And then, of course, I went back into the Spirit Analog Lab Bank and I grabbed this light synth pad preset. And this is basically the main kind of melody or chords that you hear in the second section. And it's just playing the same exact chords. I don't even got to break it down anymore. And this one has 0 effects on it, and I rendered it out and chopped it up to add that silence back in, but this is what it sounds like. Super fire preset. Yeah, it's pretty much it for the MIDI aspects to it. It's basically just the chords, and then I dragged in this guitar lead, and this is coming from the melodic fragments. And if you go to the leads folder here, we got guitar leads and phrases, and basically the guitar leads, I mean, they're fire. They're pretty fire for R&B type stuff. Basically, this whole kit is fire, which brings me to the sponsor of this video, which is Producer Crate. Shout out to them for sending this kit over, and you know, this kit is fire for R&B. And if you're wondering what the kit bundle is, it is the Cascade R&B bundle, and it comes with 5 perfectly curated kits for R&B production. You really can apply this to different types of production as well, but really this is goated for R&B, and pretty much just has everything that you need for R&B production. First, we got drums and a kit that I think you guys will love, because I know everybody loves vocals, especially R&B vocals. And we got this R&B vocal kit here called Distant Calls. So yeah, super fire vocal phrases, and everything in here is BPM labeled and key labeled, also time stretched, so you can just drag this in there, pitch it to the right key, and you got a crazy vocal phrase. Also, you guys heard the Analog Lab Bank super fire sounds. There's actually 2 in here. We got one by Cadet and one by Prod Lucky. And he also has all the one-shots for the R&B kit for the Cascade one. And honestly, it's a really good folder. We got one-shots, pretty much everything you need. One-shot, MIDIs, lead guitars, lead phrases, instrument loops. We have pad loops, guitar loops, synth loops, piano loops. Like, these piano loops are super fire. And also we have a sample pack in here if you just want to add some drums over top of samples or get some inspiration. So yeah, this kit is pretty much a one-stop shop for R&B production. I'm pretty much making samples for SZA, Brent Faiyaz, you know, anybody in the R&B space. This kit's gonna be pretty much perfect for that. And also you can pioneer your own new sound with this type of kit. And if you are interested in purchasing these sounds and leveling up your R&B kind of production game, definitely go check the link down below in the description. And you can also use my code Eville at checkout for a certain percentage off. And even if you don't like the sounds in this kit, or you're not really sure about buying an R&B suite like this, you can go check out the whole entire Producer Crate website, and it's pretty much perfect for everything that has to do with music production and leveling up your sound. I made a couple of videos on the channel so far, checking out some other kits from there, and use my code Eville at checkout. Let's hop right back into the sample breakdown. And for the effects on, it's really nothing, just a little bit of reverb here. And then the final thing really to wrap it all together is just this bass line. And the bass sound is bass chrome, and it's coming from the Cascade Analog Lab Bank. And yeah, it really ties the whole sample together, adds some of that low end in there. And pretty much the arrangement for the second section is really simple, just kind of cutting out, adding sounds. And the only thing else I'm adding is this ear candy in here. And it's really just kind of like a melodic, textured, atmospheric ear candy, and it sounds like this. Yeah, it kind of wraps it in there, adds some more textures, and that's pretty much it for the sample. The master preset, it's just my normal master chain. You can probably click on any video on my channel or check out my psychoacoustics kit for my master chain, but I'm not really gonna break it down because I've done it 100 times. But the only thing really that you need to know is I got the sound shifter pitching up by 5. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the sample, and I'm gonna play it out right here, and this is what the final sample sounds like. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys can take something away from this. I think the sample turned out really fire, and it seemed like on the last video you guys liked the R&B type of sound. And yeah, this kit, super fire for R&B production. It's a pretty much go-to suite. And if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching the full video. And if you did make it to the end, I got a little surprise for y'all. If you DM me on Instagram, the first, like, I don't know, 10 people to DM me on Instagram saying, I made it to the end of the video, send me your kit. I got you. I'm gonna send you guys a preview of my new kit I'm working on with Vency. That's a little sneak peek preview that's coming out probably end of next month. Hope you guys had a great holiday. Took a little week break because I was on vacation, but I'm back at it, creating crazy content for you guys. I got a lot of crazy stuff planned, and I got a crazy kit idea planned. So you're gonna have to stay with me on that. And yeah, I wanna kind of get back to the community in the best way I can. And the goal this year is really just to hit 10K. That'll mean a lot to me, but yeah, we got a lot to do to get there. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.